The chalk hits the blackboard so hard it snaps in half. Mere Donovan Hale writes 3 letters across the green surface, each one carved like a verdict. LIAR. He turns around, chalk dust on his fingers, and stares directly at the girl standing in the middle of his classroom. Arya Callahan, new student, transferred 2 weeks ago. Plain clothes, no designer bags, no important last name that anyone recognizes. Your father is on a mission. That is what you wrote in your introduction essay. He tilts his head, voice dripping with mock curiosity. Tell me, Miss Callahan, what kind of mission? Saving the world from his parental responsibilities? Scattered laughter ripples through the classroom. 23 students watch. Some smirk, some look away, none speak up. Arya stands perfectly still. He is serving overseas, she says. Her voice comes out steady. That is the truth. Hale takes a step closer. The truth. I have been teaching for 15 years, Miss Callahan. I have heard every excuse, every fabrication. A father on a secret mission. That is not truth. That is fantasy. That is a little girl inventing a hero because she cannot accept that her daddy simply left. The laughter grows louder. Arya does not flinch. Her eyes stay locked on Hale. She shifts her weight slightly, feet shoulder width apart, back straight, the posture of someone trained to hold ground. Sit down, he says, waving his hand dismissively. And next time you write an essay, try something believable. Perhaps your mother can help you. Oh, wait. I read your file. She passed away recently, did she not? The classroom goes silent. Arya's jaw tightens just slightly. She walks back to her seat without a word. Her footsteps are measured, controlled. She sits in the last row, back against the wall with a clear view of the entire room and both exits. In 48 hours, everyone in this room will understand exactly who her father is. The bell rings 20 minutes later. Miss Callahan, stay. The words are not a request. Arya stops at the door. 2 other students glance back but keep walking. She turns around and faces him. Hale waits until the hallway noise fades. Then he walks to the door and closes it with a soft click. I know your name, he says quietly. Callahan. I requested your records from administration this morning. Mother deceased. Father listed as active military. Rank classified. Current assignment classified. Everything about your family is classified, Miss Callahan. How convenient. Arya says nothing. Hale sets down the folder and leans against his desk. I knew a Callahan once. Marcus Callahan. 16 years ago, he was a lieutenant colonel who decided my military career was worth destroying. You would not happen to be related? Arya's stillness deepens. My father's name is Marcus. Hale's smile spreads slowly. Well, this changes everything, does it not? Your father took something from me. My career, my future, my reputation. And now fate delivers his daughter right to my classroom. How poetic. If you think I care about something that happened 16 years ago, Arya says, you are wrong. I am just here to graduate. Hale chuckles. Miss Callahan, I decide who graduates from this school. I have been here for 12 years. The principal trusts my judgment. Your father may wear stars on his shoulders, but in this building, I am the one with power. Arya holds his gaze. Are we done? Hale studies her for a long moment. For now. But Miss Callahan, what your father did to me took 3 years to accomplish. What I am going to do to you will happen much faster, and he is not here to protect you. Arya walks past him without another word. As she steps into the hallway and the door closes behind her, her hands finally curl into fists. Not from fear. From recognition. She knows exactly what kind of man Donovan Hale is. Her father taught her how to deal with them. Timing, patience, the difference between winning a battle and winning a war. So Arya unclenches her fists, shoulders her backpack, and walks toward her next class. The war has just begun. 3 days pass, each one worse than the last. On Monday, Hale returns Arya's history test with a large red D-. Penmanship issues, he announces. Sloppy, undisciplined. Much like the student who wrote it. On Tuesday, he introduces a special fund. Classroom supplies. $20 per student. When he reaches Arya's desk, she keeps her hands flat. I do not have $20. Then perhaps you should not be at this school. Students who choose not to participate should not expect to participate in extra credit opportunities either. Translation, pay or fail. On Wednesday, Hale calls her to the front and hands her a test she took the previous week, the one she aced. He tears it in half. Lost. Administrative error. You will need to retake it. After school in my office. Alone. Every student watches. Every student stays silent. Tyler Brooks, sitting 3 rows back, stares at his desk. 6 months ago, Hale demanded $200 from him for test answers Tyler never received. When Tyler tried to complain, Hale threatened to report him for cheating. Tyler paid. Tyler stayed quiet. On Thursday, everything escalates. Hale makes Arya stand in the corner of the classroom for an entire period. She stands with her back straight, facing the wall while 47 minutes tick by. She does not move, does not complain, does not give him the satisfaction of breaking. Principal Morrison walks past the open door. He glances inside, sees Arya standing in the corner, sees Hale lecturing. He keeps walking. Some systems protect their own, but someone else is watching. Deputy Principal Harper Wells stands at the end of the hallway. She has suspected Hale for months. 6 weeks ago, she planted a camera in his classroom, hidden in the smoke detector. Motion activated. She was looking for evidence of financial misconduct. She found something much worse. Friday morning, 5th period, history class. Miss Callahan, come to the front. Arya rises from her seat and walks forward. She stops in front of his desk. I've been thinking about your father, this military hero you keep inventing. He makes air quotes around the word hero. If he is so important, so classified, so vital to national security, then why does his daughter wear clothes from discount stores? Why does she transfer to a public school in the middle of the year? Why does she have no one picking her up? Someone snickers. Hale circles her slowly. You want to know what I think? I think Marcus Callahan is a fabrication, a fantasy. I think your mother died and your father disappeared and you created this elaborate story because the truth is too pathetic to admit. My father is real, Arya says. Her voice does not waver. He is serving his country right now while you stand here playing petty games in a high school classroom. The room goes dead silent. What did you say to me? I said you are playing petty games. 16 years ago you did something bad enough to get discharged from the military. My father was part of the investigation. And instead of accepting responsibility, you have spent every day since then blaming everyone but yourself. How dare you? You have no idea what your father did to me. Then why did the investigation take 3 years? If you were innocent, it would have taken 3 weeks. Hale's face flushes red. His hand moves before he makes a conscious decision. The slap echoes through the room like a gunshot. Arya staggers sideways, catching herself on a desk. Her cheek burns red. Her books scatter across the floor. 23 students sit frozen, mouths open, eyes wide. That is lesson 1, Hale says, voice shaking with rage. Lesson 2 will hurt more. Now get out of my classroom. Arya does not cry, does not scream, does not run. She picks up her books one by one. She stands up straight and she looks directly at the smoke detector in the corner of the ceiling. Just for a second, just long enough. Then she walks out. Nobody sees the tiny red light blinking inside that smoke detector. But Deputy Principal Harper Wells, watching the live feed from her office 2 floors up, sees everything. She pushes back from her desk. She has evidence now, real evidence. Assault on a student, clear as day. She needs the girl's father. Harper Wells stands and walks to her window. A black SUV pulls into a visitor space. A man steps out. Tall, straight-backed, gray at the temples. He wears civilian clothes, but something about the way he moves screams military. Wells watches him walk toward the main entrance. Her phone buzzes. An automated alert from the front desk. Visitor check-in. Marcus Callahan. Relationship to student, father. Wells grabs the tablet containing the footage and heads for the stairs. Marcus Callahan walks through the front doors of Ravensbury High at exactly 11:47 a.m. He told himself he was coming to surprise his daughter. 3 months overseas, classified operations, 0 contact with family. He wanted to see her face light up when she realized her father was finally home. What he did not expect was to walk past classroom C-114 and hear his daughter's voice through the half-open door. What he did not expect was to stop in the hallway, frozen, and watch through the narrow window as a teacher slapped his 16-year-old daughter across the face. Marcus has commanded troops in 3 combat zones. Nothing prepared him for this moment. His instinct screams at him to kick down that door, to put Donovan Hale through the nearest wall, but Marcus did not become a 4-star general by acting on instinct. He watches Arya gather her books, watches her stand up straight, watches her walk out with her head held high. Pride wars with rage inside his chest. That is my daughter. That is my daughter, and she did not break, but someone is going to answer for this. Marcus steps away from the window and moves down the hallway before Arya exits the classroom. He rounds a corner and nearly collides with a woman in professional attire, clutching a tablet. General Callahan. I am Deputy Principal Harper Wells. We need to talk right now. Marcus studies her face. Fear. Determination. Hope. You saw what just happened. I saw everything. Wells holds up the tablet. 6 weeks of everything, and if we do not act fast, it is all going to disappear. Marcus glances back toward the hallway. Show me. Wells leads him to an empty conference room. She locks the door, pulls the blinds, and connects the tablet to the wall-mounted screen. The footage starts playing. 6 weeks of Donovan Hale's classroom. Money changing hands, students standing in corners, tests being torn apart, verbal abuse. And then today's recording. Marcus watches himself watch his daughter get struck. The footage ends. Marcus says nothing for a long moment. How long has this been happening to her? Since her first day. I think he recognized her name. I did some digging and I found out that you were involved in his military discharge 16 years ago. Marcus closes his eyes. Donovan Hale. He remembers the case now. Junior officer suspected of embezzlement, harassment, threatening subordinates. I signed his discharge papers personally. I never imagined he would end up anywhere near my daughter. He has been waiting for revenge. And Ariel was the perfect target. Marcus opens his eyes. The grief is gone. In its place is something harder, colder. Not anymore. He turns to Wells. You planted that camera. You have been investigating him for months. You have evidence of more than just what happened today. Wells nods. Financial misconduct, emotional abuse, intimidation. At least a dozen students affected over the past 3 years. Why have you not reported it? I tried. 3 times. The principal buried every complaint. Hale has connections on the board. I am just a deputy principal. I do not have the power to fight that kind of protection. Marcus looks at the frozen image on the screen. You do now. Over the next 2 hours, Marcus makes phone calls. The first goes to Colonel Alden Briggs. Alden, I need the Hale file. Unseal it and be at Ravensbury High School tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp. Full dress uniform. The second call goes to 3 students. Tyler Brooks, Jonah Mercer, and Megan Sullivan. All 3 have been victims of Hale's extortion. Marcus asks each the same question. If someone guaranteed your safety, would you tell the truth about what Mir Hale has done? All 3 say yes. The third call goes to the Ravensbury Police Department. Marcus requests a patrol unit to be stationed outside the school tomorrow morning. The final call goes to Principal Morrison's office. Marcus requests a faculty ethics meeting for the following morning. By 6 p.m., every piece is in place. Marcus finds Arya in the school library, sitting alone at a table in the back corner. She is pretending to read a textbook, but her eyes are not moving across the page. The red mark on her cheek has faded to a dull pink. Marcus sits down across from her. Arya looks up. Her eyes widen. Dad. The word comes out broken, disbelieving, hopeful. Hey, sweetheart. Marcus reaches across the table and takes her hand. I am home. Arya stares at him like he might disappear if she blinks. How long have you been here? Long enough, Marcus says quietly. Arya's face crumbles for just a second, showing the exhaustion she has been hiding. Then she pulls herself together, straightens her spine, lifts her chin. I can handle it. I have been handling it. I know you can. You are the strongest person I know. But Arya, you do not have to handle it alone anymore. Tears well up in her daughter's eyes. She blinks them back. He knows who you are, she whispers. He has been waiting for this for years. He thinks hurting me is revenge for what you did to him. Marcus nods slowly. He is wrong. Arya looks at him confused. What do you mean? Marcus stands up, pulling her gently to her feet. What I did to him 16 years ago was justice served through proper channels. What I am about to do to him tomorrow is going to make that look like a warning shot. They walk out of the library together, father and daughter, general and soldier. Tomorrow, Donovan Hale will learn the difference between having power and facing it. 9:14 a.m. The main auditorium of Ravensbury High fills with confused murmurs. Faculty members shuffle into rows of folding chairs. An emergency ethics meeting on a Friday morning. No agenda provided. No explanation given. Donovan Hale sits in the front row, legs crossed, perfectly relaxed. He spent last night celebrating. The Callahan girl will not be a problem anymore. He checks his watch. 9:15, whatever this meeting is about, it has nothing to do with him. The side door opens. Deputy Principal Harper Wells walks in first, carrying a laptop. Behind her comes Tyler Brooks, then Jonah Mercer, then Megan Sullivan. 3 students who have no business being at a faculty meeting. Hale's smile flickers, then the main doors swing open. General Marcus Callahan steps into the auditorium. Full dress uniform, 4 stars gleaming on each shoulder, ribbons covering his chest. Behind him walks Colonel Alden Briggs, equally decorated, carrying a thick manila folder. The murmuring stops. Every head turns. Hale's face drains of color. He knows that face. He has spent 16 years hating that face. Marcus Callahan walks down the center aisle. His footsteps echo in the sudden silence. He stops at the front of the room. Good morning. My name is General Marcus Callahan. I am here as a parent and as someone with unfinished business. Principal Morrison steps forward. General, this is highly unusual. Marcus does not look at him. My concerns go beyond my daughter. He nods to Wells. Deputy Principal, please begin. Wells connects her laptop to the projector system. 6 weeks ago, I installed a camera in classroom C114. I was investigating reports of financial misconduct. What I found was much worse. The screen illuminates. The first clip shows Hale collecting cash from students. The second shows him tearing up a student's test. The third shows him forcing a boy to stand in the corner for an hour. Then the fourth clip plays. Yesterday, 5th period. Arya Callahan standing at the front of the classroom. The audio captures every word of Hale's verbal assault, his mockery of her father, her steady responses, and then the slap. The sound echoes through the auditorium speakers. Several teachers gasp. Wells pauses the footage. The room sits in stunned silence. There must be context, Morrison stammers. That girl provoked me. Hale's voice comes out strangled. She said things about my past that were completely inappropriate. Marcus turns to face him directly. Your past. Let us discuss your past. Colonel Briggs steps forward, opening the manila folder. 16 years ago, then Lieutenant Donovan Hale was investigated for multiple violations of military conduct. Embezzlement of unit funds totaling $47,000. Sexual harassment of 3 female subordinates. Threatening behavior toward junior officers. The investigation lasted 3 years due to Lieutenant Hale's systematic destruction of evidence and intimidation of witnesses. He was ultimately found guilty on all counts and discharged from service with prejudice. The lead investigator was then Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Callahan. Hale stands up, knocking his chair backward. Those charges were fabricated. I was innocent. You ruined my life. He points a shaking finger at Marcus. You took everything from me. Your school. Marcus takes a step toward him. You assault students for money. You tear up their work for entertainment. You slapped my daughter across the face because you lack the courage to face me directly. This is not your school. This is your hunting ground. And the hunt is over. The side door opens. 2 police officers enter the auditorium. Hale backs away. Wait, no. This is a misunderstanding. There is more, Wells says quietly. She gestures to the three students. Tyler Brooks steps forward first. Mr. Hale told me I would fail his class unless I paid him $200 for test answers. I paid. I never got any answers. When I tried to report it, he said he would tell the administration I was the one who cheated. Jonah Mercer speaks next. He made me hack into another student's email account. Arya Callahan's account. He wanted me to plant evidence that she was cheating so he could get her expelled. The auditorium erupts in shocked whispers. Megan Sullivan steps forward. He told me my scholarship application would disappear unless I kept quiet about what I saw him do to other students. I have been quiet for 2 years. I am done being quiet. Marcus cuts off Hale's protest. Donovan. You spent 16 years blaming me for your choices. You convinced yourself that your discharge was persecution rather than consequence. This is who you became. Someone who hurts children because you cannot hurt the people who held you accountable. I had a future before you destroyed it, Hale spits back. I took nothing. You embezzled money from soldiers who trusted you. You harassed women who had no power to fight back. You threatened anyone who tried to stop you. The only thing I did was make sure you could not do it anymore. And now I am doing it again. He nods to the officers. Mr. Donovan Hale, you are under arrest for assault of a minor, extortion, conspiracy to commit fraud, and criminal harassment. One officer moves forward with handcuffs. Hale backs away. You cannot do this. I have rights. I have connections. The handcuffs click around his wrists. Your connections are currently pretending they never knew you. As the officers lead him toward the door, Hale screams, "This is not over, Callahan. I will find a way back. I will make you pay for this. I will make your daughter pay." Marcus does not respond, but Arya does. She steps into the auditorium from the side entrance. She walks toward Hale, stopping just out of reach. You asked me once why I did not fight back when you humiliated me. Why I just stood there and took it. Hale glares at her with pure hatred. I was waiting. My father taught me that some battles are not won with fists. They are won with patience, with evidence, with the truth. You spent a week trying to break me. You got one slap. My father spent 2 days building a case. He got your entire career. She turns and walks back to stand beside Marcus. The officers lead Hale out. The auditorium doors swing shut behind them. Silence holds for 3 long seconds. Then someone starts clapping. It spreads. The sound builds until the whole room is applauding. Marcus puts his arm around Arya's shoulders. She leans into him just for a moment. The aftermath unfolds over the following weeks. Hale faces 7 criminal charges. His court-appointed lawyer advises him to plead guilty. Principal Morrison resigns before he can be fired. Deputy Principal Harper Wells is appointed acting principal. Tyler Brooks receives a formal apology and a full refund. Jonah Mercer cooperates fully with investigators. Megan Sullivan's scholarship application is restored, and Arya Callahan returns to class on Monday morning. She walks through the same hallways, sits in the same classroom, faces the same students. But everything has changed. Students nod to her in the halls. Some apologize. She does not need their approval, but she accepts it. 2 weeks after the auditorium confrontation, Arya and Marcus stand on the empty football field behind the school. Late afternoon sun stretches their shadows across the grass. I should have been here, Marcus says quietly. When your mother was sick, when you had to transfer schools. When you faced all of this alone. Arya shakes her head. You were serving your country. You were doing what you trained your whole life to do. And you taught me how to survive. That is worth more than being present for every bad day. Your mother would be proud of you. Standing up to someone like that, refusing to break, waiting for the right moment instead of reacting out of anger. Arya smiles. She would probably also tell me I need to make more friends and stop eating lunch alone in the library. Marcus laughs. A real laugh. The first one in months. Dad, Arya's voice goes serious. What happens the next time someone targets me because of your name? Marcus considers the question carefully. There will always be people who resent power they cannot control. People who want revenge for consequences they brought on themselves. I cannot protect you from all of them, but I can teach you how to protect yourself, and I can make sure you never have to face them alone. Arya nods slowly. Good enough. She leans against her father's side. Behind them, the school building rises against the darkening sky. A system that failed and then finally corrected itself. Not every story ends this cleanly. Not every victim finds justice. Not every bully faces consequences. But today, one did, and somewhere in that building, a new principal is reviewing policies. Students are speaking up about things they were afraid to mention before. Teachers are paying attention to warning signs they used to ignore. Change does not happen all at once. It happens in moments, in choices, in people who decide that silence is no longer acceptable. Arya Callahan chose not to stay silent. Her father chose to fight with evidence instead of anger. A deputy principal chose to plant a camera when she could have looked away. 3 students chose to testify when they could have stayed safe, and a man who spent 16 years believing he was untouchable learned the hardest lesson of all. Power is not about position. It is not about connections or money or fear. Power is about truth. And truth eventually always comes out. The sun sets behind the football field. A father and daughter walk toward the parking lot together. Tomorrow is Saturday. They have no plans. Maybe breakfast at the diner. Maybe a drive to the cemetery to visit a grave they have both been avoiding. Maybe just a quiet day at home, learning how to be a family again. Whatever they choose, they will choose it together. And that is enough.